Well, good afternoon, my stitchy friends. I thought I would jump on today. Well, first of all, let me say welcome to the NeedleBugg. My name is Karen. I thought I would jump on today and show you how I deal with all the excess fabric. That seems to be a question that comes up a whole lot when you read the Facebook groups. So it just so happens I'm going to start the project that you see here in the corner, which is the sewing woman. I'm going to be stitching along with a friend to stitch this. Hopefully I have another good 5 years left in me, because that's probably what it's going to take. But I thought, you know what, I'm going to start that today yet. So let's look at how I deal with the fabric. Okay, first off, let me show you. This is essentially a half yard of, put it up here. There we go. Of the Easy Grid fabric, half yard of 25 count. So it's not too shabby. That's a big piece. So I am going to start in the bottom left-hand corner. So it's like, okay, and I'm going to put it in my stand. So it's like, okay, what in heaven's name do we do with all this fabric? Well, let me show you. First off, what I'm going to do is deal with the top. So there's already a fold. Okay, so I'm going to fold it in half the way it came. I'm going to fold this back up so that I have my area that I'm going to stitch exposed. Well, I need my little bungee cords there. And then I'm just going to fold this in so that I can get it close to the hoop. Okay. Then I'm going to take these little cords, these little magnetic ties, and I'm just going to wrap it around like so. So I'm going to put one over here closer to this edge, and one over here closer to this edge. So that's pretty much going to deal with all of that fabric. Okay, so that's up. It's out of the way. It's not going to hang down the back. Okay, you're going to be able to manipulate. But then, oh, wow, what do we do with all of this? What do we do with all of this? Well, first of all, we're going to put that in. We're going to put this on our stand. What I do want to tell you about before I go too far is, I think my video's lagging a bit here. If you notice, I did not have my fabric in the hoop the usual way. You see, I have it on what everybody would say upside down. Normally, you put your fabric in this way, and this is the side you stitch in. Well, here's a little tip, my friends. If you put your fabric in this way, so that you're stitching into what we call the well, when you have to flip it over and end your threads, and you're close to your hoop, you know how you put your needle through and then your needle hits against the hoop and you have a tough time getting through. If you put your hoop on this way, when you flip it over and end your threads, there's nothing for it to hit against. So it will save you some grief and aggravation. So that is what I do, or what I'm going to do with this. But now we need to put this on the stand. So how do we do that, you ask? How do we keep all of this fabric out of the way? Well, what I have found works the best when you don't take the knobs off too far. Let's put that back on. Okay, and let me get one more fabric tie here, because we're going to use another one of these magnetic ties. And I thought I had enough here, but I'm missing one. Okay, so what I am going to do is this. I'm going to put the fabric to the back. Okay, let me zoom in just a little bit closer so that you can see this just a little bit better. Okay, so I am going to put the fabric to the back. Okay, and then I am going to insert it into my stand. See, I did need them opened a little bit further. Okay. And I'm going to go up a little bit higher here because I got all this bulk at the top. Okay, so I'm going to put that into the stand. I'm going to clamp this down. I'm going to tighten this. Okay. Okay, now you say, yeah, but all this fabric's back here. What am I going to do with that? Okay, what I do is, let me flip this around for you. I don't think that you do that. Okay, what I do is turn it to the back, and then I take this fabric and go this way. Now, first of all, you see these, the screws, and these, I forget what they're called. They have a name. But the screws, okay? So I lay my fabric back, straighten it up, and I take another magnetic tie, and I attach it here, and I attach it here, and then, what did I do with the, okay, just to be on the safe side, I will also find these, well, we'll also find these guys and attach it here and here. And you want to get the correct side that has the right magnetic pull. And then that is going to hold it back away from where I'm going to stitch. You could also just take your magnets. Okay, you could also just use a magnet and stick it on there. Okay, or even double it up and put that and a magnet. Okay, and then you can flip it back around, and you can see, let me shine a light, hold it here that the light shines through. You can see that it is not in my way to stitch. Okay, so there's nothing here to prevent me from stitching. You do want to make sure you get this in tight enough, because like I said, I have this up a little bit higher because of all this bulk. And then I just let this lay back here out of the way. And that is how I'm going to start this project today. So this is just a shorty. I thought I would share it with you, how to load the hoop in the stand and deal with the bulk of the fabric. The reason I'm starting in the bottom right-hand corner is because then as I work this piece, I'm not putting stitched fabric into this clamp. It's always going to be unstitched fabric. Okay? And as I work up, the weight of the stitched area is going to be hanging down, and I'm not going to have to hold it up here. If you stitch from the top down, as you get down towards the bottom, you got all this heavy stitched fabric up here. Whereas if you start down here, all this weight is going to be in your lap. And you don't have to deal with that. Because there might be times I'm not going to put it in the stand. There might be times I will just use a hoop and stitch without the stand. One never knows, because you never know what you're going to find here. So that is how we start. That is how I'm going to start. And as I said, the most important thing for me is to always be putting unstitched fabric in this clamp. Now, granted, if you do it the other way, yes, it will crush your stitches, but once you wash it and press it, those stitches will bounce back. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. So, there you have it. That is how I am going to start this project. That is how I am going to deal with the fabric. So, I hope that has helped some of you, and I will see you next time.